Welcome to Retirement Key TV. I'm Mallory Hoff alongside David Wilkinson and our guest, Abe Abish. Over the next half hour, we'll discuss some of the biggest questions you may have about retirement.
So here's what's ahead. First, we'll discuss how to overcome retirement mistakes. Then in 15 and 15, we'll cover income, risk protection, and growth strategies. And we'll also talk about creating your retirement roadmap. That conversation and so much more ahead.
But first, Abe Abish is the founder and CEO of Abish Financial Services, a DMV area firm that focuses on preparing people for a successful retirement. Abe is also the popular host of Retirement Key Radio. Abe, I want to run a few things by you. There's a lot of water cooler talk out there, which can lead to some pretty big mistakes. The first thing I want to ask you about is this. What do you say to those who are planning to grow their retirement accounts in the market?
Well, you need growth, Mallory, and we help people primarily that are 55 to 75 years old to transition into retirement with as much dignity and as much confidence as possible. So growth is very important. And most people are retiring between 60 and 65, and they could live another 30 years. So again, growth is extremely important, and we don't want to forget about growth. We need to make sure our monies and retirement savings and life savings lasts us into our 80s and 90s. But just as important as growth is protecting your last 30 to 40 years of work, right? And so we can't let a 2008 or a -30 or -40 just destroy our life savings right at the finish line of retirement. So we believe growth and protection is key in a retirement plan.
Yeah.
How often does someone walk into your office, perhaps for the first time, to get a second opinion maybe, and you see their portfolio really looks like it did when they were 30 years old?
So often, David. Oftentimes people come in and they're still investing as if they were 40 years old or 50 years old. And if you're 44, 45 years old and your portfolios are down 50%, okay, well, you just bought it at a nice discount and the markets will rebound and you just bought on sale. But if you're 58, 62, 68, 72, and you're down anything that's really -20% or more, it could be terminal to the portfolio. It's going to take a lot of time to recoup those losses. If you go back to the tech bubble, remember September 11th and the tech bubble, companies like AOL are the world's leading internet provider. Now they're non-existent, and it took 5 years to recover those losses. Fast forward to 2008, another 5 years to recover those losses. That was a lost decade. We can't waste 5, 10, 12 years of time just because we had bad years and trying to recoup those losses.
But even with all of that in mind, how often do you find that fear of missing out gets in people's way?
It's happening this year.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at companies like Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google, Tesla, NVIDIA, all these companies that are leading the way. Hard to imagine a world without Amazon. However, there's been so much FOMO here this year, and that's fear of missing out. And you see the markets going up, and you're like, hey, the bear market's over, and inflation is back under control. And I don't know that we're out of the woods yet, and maybe we are. But if we're not, we have to have a plan for the good times and bad. Growth and protection is paramount.
Yeah. Let's pivot to taxes. How often do you see retirees believing that they're not supposed to touch their IRA until the government tells them they have to?
Well, we don't like when things are locked up like that, and by the way, at 59 and a half, that's when IRAs and 401ks and TSPs start to open up, because the IRS says, hey, David, you're 59 and a half now, you are eligible to be able to roll over part or all of your employer plan if it makes sense and if it's suitable and in your best financial interest to do so, out of that employer plan into an IRA where there's a whole world of opportunities out there, right? So oftentimes people think that they can't touch their money until they fully retire, but usually it's at 59 and a half that window opens up, because people are retiring usually around 65, right? And so we want to consider all options. We want to get a second opinion, we call it a complimentary second opinion, a portfolio stress test. What do you have invested? What is it in? Stocks, bonds, annuities, real estate, cash? What's the amount of risk you're taking? How will you do if the markets go up? How would you likely do if the markets go down? What does it cost you? Get that portfolio stress test and then learn about the options. We say education to a decision. Learn about what you truly own and are invested in, side by side other options. It's pretty telling for most people.
And how often do people come in for that portfolio stress test and think they have a grasp on what that portfolio can really withstand, but it turns out they don't?
Oftentimes, Mallory, and it's nice for people to see their portfolios and accounts go up, and I think a lot of people are proud of that. but there's way more pain on the downside. When people are down -10, -20 or more, there's way more pain when you're losing money in the markets than joy of the upside, right? Than the joy of maybe earning a 20% return, because man, just like that, those gains can be lost. So when people come in for a complimentary second opinion and get a portfolio x-ray, a stress test of their investments, it's eye-opening for a lot of people, because they realize, wow, I didn't know I was taking that much risk. I knew I needed to reduce risk. You always hear the closer and closer you get to retirement, you need to start thinking about protection, preservation, income, because your wages are ending, your salary is going to be over, and you've got to make sure you have enough saved to generate the income you need to last you the rest of your life. So we want to avoid large losses, and we want to look for all the things, the risks and the pitfalls that are going to mess up 30 to 40 years of fantastic work and savings.
Speaking of looking for the things, say there's someone out there with highly appreciated assets. They're selling them real estate, business, you name it, capital gains exposure. What type of strategies can they take?
You know, David, people always say buy low, sell high, and that's really what you want to do, but it's impossible to time the market, so you need to have a plan, and taxes are going to be one of our biggest expenses in retirement. And if you've done really well in the markets, in real estate, in a business, whatever it is, there are ways and strategies you can use to deploy to lower and mitigate the tax liability as much as you can. You need to seek out that professional opinion, that professional advice, because taxes are going to be our biggest expense. Capital gains, highly appreciated stocks, doing well in a business. You can't eliminate or avoid tax. You've got to pay your fair share, but there are things you can do to lower that tax liability as much as you can.
Great information as always, which means the time to act is now.
That's right. Exclusively for our Retirement Key TV viewers, Abe has a great offer for you. Right now, for the first 5 callers with a portfolio of $500,000 or greater, he's offering a complimentary retirement roadmap just for you. This will allow Abe and his team to sit down with you personally and provide you with a plan, analyzing where you are right now and discuss your best steps to really get ready for a successful retirement. The number to call, 571-520-5959, 571-520-5959.
One of the top-ranking fears for retirees is, of course, running out of money. And a new report actually sheds light on how we might be able to avoid that fear. That study actually found that 70% of people were confident they would not run out of money because they had a financial advisor. Abe, what should our takeaway be?
I think seeking financial advice, I think having a financial and retirement plan, the right type of plan for this next season of your life. So we primarily work with people, Mallory, that are 55 to 75. Oftentimes we talk about the retirement mountain, like you're climbing up in your working career, you're in that accumulation phase. All of our clients are coming to us right here. They're 55 to 65, they're at the tail end of their working career, they're coming down or about to start descending down their own retirement mountain into their golden and glory years. And the type of planning that they used in phase 1 to climb up the mountain and accumulate their life savings should be different than the plan they're using in phase 2 as they start descending down their own retirement mountain, we call it. The reason why, Mallory, is because of that income issue.
Sure.
They were used to making $100, $200 or more $1,000 in the DC metro area. When they're working, those wages are going to end and stop, and now the income has to come from their portfolio. Annuities, stocks, pensions, real estate, whatever it is. So that income planning and the right type of plan for a phase 2 retirement is crucial.
So that being said, if a lot of people are walking in the door for a first appointment, a first visit, and the assets are in place, what's the conversation like when it comes to income planning? What's the first step?
Well, it's a lot easier, Mallory, when people have enough saved. And almost everyone we meet with here in the DC metro area does have enough saved. So that's amazing news. Our prospective clients come in, they see the roadmap and plan right there in front of them on our big TV screen, and a lot of them don't know. They might have a good feeling that they can retire successfully and with dignity and confidence, but they don't know for sure until we run the math and test it and put it up on the screen and say, guess what? Today is a day you do have enough saved, you don't have to work anymore, you can retire with confidence and with added peace of mind. And that's one of the biggest joys I get, is telling people, hey, you can retire and not only retire successfully, but retire earlier than you thought or imagined you could. I mean, that's an awesome conversation. So the accumulation in the assets and the amount of savings are there, Mallory. Now it's protecting it, preserving it, generating income. If you want to pass it on to family and your loved ones, you know, we implement legacy plans that can help pass on our dollars to our clients' family and loved ones in the most tax-efficient way. protecting against things like healthcare,
Yeah.
taxes, all very important.
So when you're creating that income plan, I think for so many retirees, there's this fear that they're not going to be able to maintain their lifestyle in retirement. That's what they've worked so hard for. How can you ensure that you're creating an income plan that's really going to be able to cover both your monthly expenses and the vacations?
That's a great point. We try to, Mallory, create as much income that's going to be predictable and dependable and sustainable.
Yeah.
You think about Social Security or a pension. Well, you know, unless the federal government just goes bankrupt, you've got Social Security that should last you the rest of your life.
There you go.
And isn't that a nice thing to know that that $3,000 a month or $2,000 a month is going to last you for the rest of your life, inflation adjusted? And if you have a pension, whether it's with a private company or the military or federal government or the county if you were a teacher or something like that, another check that's going to last you probably the rest of your life. Those are really nice things to have. That lays the foundation of an income plan. It takes stress off of the portfolio in the stock market. That type of sustainable, dependable income is what allows people to sleep best at night, to know that their bills are paid, the income's coming into the mailbox like clockwork, and then all the other income they can generate from the life savings can be used for giving and spending and traveling and all these things. And that's the type of plan you want, is an income plan that's going to be as sustainable and dependable as possible.
This is an interesting moment to be preparing for retirement. What are you finding retirees who have not worked with an advisor in the past are missing right now?
All too often, Mallory, I hear, man, Abe, I wish I met you and your team like 5 or 10 years ago. So I would encourage people right now, if you're watching and listening to this show, if you do not have a financial advisor, or maybe you even do, and you like him or her, right? And you've had a good relationship with your advisor for 5 or 10 years, 15. We just met with a client that had a relationship with an advisor for 30 years.
That's a bond. Yeah.
That's a big decision to make in terms of breaking up with that advisor and changing. But they did because they realized this person was an accumulation-based advisor that helped them get to retirement. That doesn't mean that same person should be the same one to get them through retirement, because the type of planning should be very different. And when they started asking their advisor about taxes and income and long-term care and all these things that are really planned for in phase 2, they realized this is not the person that should be helping us with our phase 2 retirement.
Abe, I always appreciate how good you are at breaking all of this down. I'm going to put a to be continued on this portion of our conversation. Sure. Thank you. And coming up on Retirement Key TV, we'll talk about creating your roadmap to retirement. And up next in 15 in 15, David will put Abe on the clock. But first, exclusively for our Retirement Key TV viewers, Abe has a great offer for you. Right now, for the first 5 callers with $500,000 or more saved for retirement, he's offering a complimentary retirement roadmap just for you. This will allow Abe and his team to sit down with you personally and provide you with a plan analyzing where you are right now and discuss your best steps to really get ready for a successful retirement. The number to call right now, 571-520-5959. Once again, that number, 571-520-5959.
Back by popular demand, it's 15 in 15 on your TV screen. 15 topics in 15 seconds for Abe. You fired up?
Let's do it.
Let's fire that clock then. Question number 1. We all love to see our money grow, increase, Abe, basically do anything but go backwards. But what if a retiree is solely focused on growth alone?
They're going to get burned, right? The markets don't just continually go up. The markets go up a few years, go down, up a few years, go down. We had a 14-year bull run, and what did the markets do in 2022? They went down. So if you're just focused on growth and you like those 30 to 40% returns, you're probably going to have a 30 to 40% loss as well.
You got to know the risks involved. Question number 2, speaking of which, plenty of financial advisors, not you, I'll say this, will take credit when the market is roaring, but when it's going down, we'll say, just hang in there. Why is that not something you endorse?
If they even answer the phone, right?
Oh, good point.
They don't want to answer the phone and talk when the markets are down. So look, nobody's invincible. You're going to have losses in the market. The name of the game, David, is to limit the losses, right? You cannot be dealing with a negative 30 or negative 40 when you're just about ready to retire or already retired. You've got to limit large losses. That's one of the biggest things you can do, or a retiree can do, to secure their retirement.
Pretty sound advice. Question Question number 3, fees. A study I saw said that the average on a 401k about 0.5%. Not too bad, right? Wrong. Over the course of your retirement, that could add up to $150,000. So Abe, what can be done about this?
Get a portfolio x-ray. Know how much you're spending in costs and fees inside your plan, right? They can be like termites eating into the foundation of your retirement plan. That's not good, right? Nobody wants termites.
Nobody wants termites.
Nobody wants higher costs than they need to be paying in their 401ks and IRAs. So get those tested. Know what you own, know what you're spending, know what it costs, right? So you can potentially save yourself on those fees down the road in your retirement plan.
Absolutely. You should be understanding what services you're getting for those fees.
Absolutely.
So I love that answer. Question number 4, we're hitting taxes. They could be your largest expense in retirement, but get this, they're often overlooked. So potentially, what kind of financial difference could a solid tax plan make?
It could mean the difference of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Hundreds of thousands.
Potentially,
wow.
Right? I would think most people think that taxes are going to go up, and so if taxes are probably going to be our biggest expense in retirement, why are we ignoring them? We have to have a tax plan mixed in with our comprehensive retirement plan.
Okay, we are going to combine fees and taxes on this one. You have talked about the portfolio x-ray. When people come in, get the portfolio x-ray, you pop the hood. What kind of things do you uncover?
Well, we want to know if they continue down the road they are, David, what would they do in a good market? How would they perform in a bad market, like a 2008? How would their portfolio hold up, right?
Yeah.
What are they paying in those costs and fees we just talked about? What is the risk and standard deviation? Are you still investing like you were when you were 40 and 50, but now you're 65? We've got to make sure we have the right plan and the right portfolio moving into phase 2 and our golden years.
Put time on your side when it comes to planning for retirement. Question number 6, Social Security pushed their go broke date back from 2034 to 2035. An entire year. Yes, let's get hyped up about that. All right, so we know Social Security, maybe the future of it could be a little cloudy. How does that factor into retirement planning?
Well, we don't want to depend solely on Social Security income, and hopefully Social Security is around for this current generation and future generations to come. But if it's not, ask yourself this: if your Social Security benefit and income was reduced at all, even by 10%, 20, 25%, would you be able to live the retirement of your dreams with that reduction? If you can, you're probably going to be in good shape. If you couldn't, and your check lowered by $500 or $1,000 a month, is that going to affect you in retirement? You need to know. Yeah,
you do not want to be stymied about your retirement dreams.
That's right.
At all. Question number 7, back to your 401k. They're very common for retirees, but what if a retiree comes in and says, Abe, I have my 401k, and this is what I'm going to rely on for my income?
Well, you don't want to solely rely on any one thing in retirement, David. And having a 401k is great, right? We've all been told to save in our 401k and max out our 401ks and IRAs, and that's fantastic. But we can't have or shouldn't have all of our eggs in one basket. So the more diversified all your income is, the more diversified your retirement plan is, right? So having everything in one 401k, having everything in stocks, everything in annuities, that's not good at all, right? You want diversification. That's going to lead to more added peace of mind and security in retirement.
Sign me up for that. Also, sign me up for halftime of 15 and 15. We're almost there, my friend. Great information. And because of that, right now, exclusively for our Retirement Key TV viewers, Abe has a great offer. For the first 5 callers with a portfolio of $500,000 or greater, he's offering a complimentary retirement roadmap just for you. This will allow Abe and his team to sit down with you personally and provide you with a plan, analyzing where you are right now and discuss your best steps to really get ready for a successful retirement. The number to call, 571-520-5959. That number, 571-520-5959. Out the gates we come, back on the clock we go. Topic number 8 of 15 and 15. Abe, a study found that those that have additional income streams can spend 40% more each month compared to those that don't. Why is there this type of advantage?
How about that? Well, the more diversified your income is, the better you can sleep at night, the more added peace of mind you have, the more confidence you have in retirement. If it's all coming from annuities, all coming from real estate, all coming from the stock market, that's not what you want, right? Because it's not diversified. And even though it might be predictable or not predictable, you want diversification in your income plan so you can go about and live the golden years of your dreams without worrying about the stock market so much.
Absolutely. Let's keep driving that nail on the head. 56% of Americans say their top priority in retirement is guaranteed income. But get this, only 13% of them have done anything about it. Why the discrepancy?
People need to get it going. People need to get an action plan set up. People need to get an income plan set up. If you're thinking about retiring and you're 5, 10 years or less away, you better get all of your financial house in order, right? You've got 401ks and IRAs and all these assets and accumulation, all that's great, but you better start thinking along the lines of income. You're gonna retire. You need to make sure that income lasts you the rest of your life, that you can go to sleep at night, that you have dependable, sustainable streams of income that are diversified. It's super important. So we highly encourage people to get a plan, get a second opinion, get the math tested, and when you have that plan, you can walk around with more confidence, right? With more added confidence. So that is key.
See, if you're going to do that and go more than 15 seconds, it better be packed with information, and sir, you delivered right there. Back on the clock we're going, and we're going to keep it to 15 this time. Life can certainly become expensive. Some people cut back on the fun to afford the necessities. Nobody wins in that situation. How can you develop a plan that avoids that type of scenario?
Well, you don't want to retire to settle for a life that is less than the life when you were working, right? Everyone talks about having your go-go years, then your slow-go years, then your no-go years. And in those go-go years, you better be going. You better have a plan that's going to allow you to go, to spend, to travel, to gift, to tithe, to do whatever you want to do. You know, that's probably that first 10 to 12 years of your retirement, those go-go years. So set up a plan that's going to help you achieve and accomplish everything you want to do in retirement. And that first 10 to 12 years is super important. People always think they're going to spend less in retirement. That's the opposite, especially not in that first phase and the last phase when healthcare concerns and things like that can come up.
Yeah, nobody wants to sit on the couch, and I apologize to you, the viewers at home, for lying. He didn't do it in 15 seconds. Question number 11, because of the time, some people might be holding on to a ton of cash, might be under the mattress. Why is cash not the best route, in your opinion, for a successful retirement?
Well, just a few years ago, David, we would call it dead money, right? It's sitting in the banks and it's making 0, 1, 2%. Now rates are a little bit higher and we can get a little bit more in the banks and on safe instruments. However, we all know that you're not going to be making 4, 5, 6% on cash forever. Usually it's in that 0 to 2 range. So if you've got any dead money, any lazy money, any couch potato money in your retirement plan, get it off the couch, get it working for you. So you can make as much money as possible with the least amount of risk.
Yeah, no fly zone in retirement with dead money here. Question number 12. New research says millions of workers have made the dangerous mistake of taking out a loan or worse, an early withdrawal from their savings. If someone is considering doing that right now, what's your advice?
It's got to be a serious emergency for you to pull money out of your retirement plan, because once you pull money out of your retirement plan and you withdraw it, typically you can't get it back in unless you maybe take a loan. The best place to go is, extra bank cash, extra emergency funds, but you got to be careful when you're talking about pulling money out of your life savings for things that pop up. Those are the last accounts you want to touch, because you're going to need them for retirement income. So be very careful with that.
Yeah, understood. Question number 13, target date funds. What are they, and why do you say they actually miss the target?
They miss the target so oftentimes, David. We call them lazy couch potato funds.
Again, they're everywhere.
Like a 2050 fund, right? You might have X amount in stocks and X amount in bonds, but the fund is being managed for millions of people. It's not a specific customized, tailored plan and fund for you. So that's what you need, right? You are different than me, and we're different than our clients, and everyone needs a customized, specific plan to meet their retirement goals. So they can be okay, but they can also be costly. You want to know the pros and cons of those funds and everything you own, so you have a true, good understanding of your retirement goals and objectives.
Understood. Question number 14, sad reality. Sometimes when a couple has a financial advisor and one of the spouses, typically the male, passes away, the woman goes somewhere else to get financial help. Why do you think there's that type of breakup so often?
I think because either the wife or the husband wasn't involved together in the planning. We see that, so oftentimes as one spouse will come in with the other, and we highly encourage and recommend that both spouses, partners come in together to do the planning together. Even if you were to lead with all the financial decisions in your family, you would still want your wife to know, right, what's going on. She may not need to know, he may not need to know every single detail, right? Because usually one spouse might know a little bit more than the other. But coming in together and working together as a cohesive couple with a cohesive plan is so important. That way, if something happens to you, the other spouse or partner will know exactly where to pick up and we really help our clients with that legacy planning. We help widows oftentimes, typically several times a year, a client will pass away, and it's very easy, it's seamless, the transition, and that's why people set up retirement plans with advisors.
All right, on the last question of 15 and 15, a chance to give another empowering message for someone that's watching right now that's on the fence about making a move. Why is now the time to do so?
Because we can't predict the markets, David, and so now is the best time to take action on your own financial matters and your own financial house. The markets will always be up, they'll always be down. They're gonna go up and down. Usually every few years they're up, usually every few years they're down, right? So we know things are gonna happen in this world that could shake up the markets, that could make the markets go up or down. Now, there's no better time than now to take action. Get a complimentary second opinion, whether you're working with an existing advisor that you may like or you're doing it on your own. Get a complimentary second opinion. All it will take you is about 90 minutes to get that complimentary second opinion, and you're going to be so happy that you did it because you'll know what you have and you'll know all the other options that are available to you as well.
Sounds like a plan to me. Great information on 15 and 15. You're off the clock, and because of that, today exclusively for our Retirement Key TV viewers, Abe has a great offer for you. Right now, for the first 5 callers with a portfolio of $500,000 or greater, he's offering a complimentary retirement roadmap just for you. This will allow Abe and his team to sit down with you personally and provide you with a plan, analyzing where you are right now and discuss your best steps to really get ready for a successful retirement. The number to call, 571-520-5959.
The road to retirement can feel like a complicated one, especially for those who are unwilling to ask for directions. Abe, that's why you're joining us today. First stop, income. Tell me why.
If you notice, Mallory, income is at the very bottom. It's the foundation of a retirement plan. A sustainable, dependable income plan is paramount for a successful retirement plan.
Next place to fuel up, of course, growth. Let's talk about it.
Well, I mean, you might be 65 and retiring, living to 95 years old. You've got to make sure your money lasts, so growth is also crucial. You just don't want to take on any extra risk than necessary to accomplish your goals.
As we continue our journey here, taxes, of course, so important yet so frequently overlooked.
Our biggest expense likely in retirement. A lot of planners, a lot of advisors simply ignore tax planning. If it's going to be our biggest expense in retirement, how can we ignore it? Why should we ignore it? We shouldn't. We should have a tax plan mixed in a comprehensive retirement roadmap.
As we make our way down the road, we hit, of course, protection. Tell me why.
Protection is key, right? Your wages are going to end, your salary is going to end, your accumulation is pretty much going to kind of stop at retirement. You'll continue to grow that money, but protection and avoiding large loss is crucial. It would be terminal to a retirement plan if you lost a lot of money right at the point of retirement.
And Abe, ultimately we make our way to our destination, which is retirement. Why so important not to skip steps on this roadmap?
Well, each step, Mallory, is crucial. Growth is so important. We talked about that. Taxes, really important. Protection, maybe the most important thing. You could even throw in legacy and healthcare. You can't skip all these steps to get here. You've got to address all these steps for a successful retirement plan.
Important information, which means the time to act is now for you at home. If you're looking to make sure you're on the right path for retirement, today exclusively for our Retirement Key TV viewers, Abe has a great offer for you. Right now, for the first 5 callers with $500,000 or more saved for retirement, he's offering a complimentary retirement roadmap just for you. This will allow Abe and his team to sit down with you personally and provide you with a plan analyzing where you are right now and discuss your best steps to really get ready for a successful retirement. The number to call, 571-520-5959.
And Abe, before we go today, I know you have a very special offer for our viewers.
That's right, David. For the first 5 callers that have saved $500,000 or more for their retirement, give us a call, and our team will personally help you build your very own retirement roadmap. And Mallory, David, will do this on a complimentary basis.
An excellent offer, Abe. Once again, thank you very much. And for you at home, Abe has a great offer. Right now, for the first 5 callers with $500,000 or more saved for retirement, he's offering a complimentary retirement roadmap just for you.
This will allow Abe and his team to sit down with you personally and provide you with a plan, analyzing where you are right now and discuss your best steps to really get ready for a successful retirement. The number to call, 571-520-5959.